Do you think you've seen some crazy villains in Marvel? My dude, you're not ready for Muse. This guy doesn't want money, doesn't want power, he just wants to turn the city into a huge horror gallery, and the catch? He does it using the blood and bodies of his victims. And it's so serious that even Daredevil and Kingpin will have to team up to try to stop this monster. But who is Muse? And why could he be the scariest villain in the MCU? Stick around, because I'm about to tell you everything right now. Welcome to Nerd Insights. I'm Arthur. Marvel's bringing one of the creepiest villains ever created to live action, and he's gonna make his debut in Daredevil Born Again. Muse may not be as famous as Bullseye or Kingpin, but he's by far the most disturbing. In the comics, he calls himself an artist, but his art involves brutal murders and mutilated bodies. And the weirdest part? He leaves no trace, doesn't feel fear, and has no goal other than his own madness. Muse is a true nightmare for Daredevil, and the D23 trailer confirmed he's coming in full force in the new series. But what makes this villain so dangerous? And how could he totally change the story of the MCU? Let's find out after you hit that like button and subscribe with the notification bell on, because we've got new updates every day. Muse was created in the comics by Charles Soule and Ron Garney in 2016, and since then has been considered one of Daredevil's most bizarre and terrifying foes. He believes that murder is the purest form of art, and that his victims are just part of the creative process. In his comic debut, Muse painted an entire mural using the blood of 100 missing people. Then he took it further and created a grotesque art installation, positioning inhuman corpses as if they were living sculptures. What makes Muse even more dangerous is that he's not just a typical psychopath. His body functions like a sensory black hole, absorbing everything around him and completely messing with Daredevil's radar sense. This means that when Matt Murdock gets close to him, it's like he's truly blind. On top of that, Muse has extraordinary agility and superhuman strength, making any fight with him a nightmare. And if that wasn't enough to make Muse one of the scariest villains in Marvel, what really grabs attention is that Daredevil and Wilson Fisk are gonna have to team up to take him down. The Daredevil Born Again series already showed that Fisk might be taking over as mayor of New York, and his first mission would be to get rid of the city's vigilantes. But Muse doesn't play by the same rules. He doesn't care about politics, control, or influence. He just acts. This puts Fisk in an unexpected position. He might hate Daredevil, but Muse is such a huge threat that Fisk realizes if he doesn't do something, he could lose everything he's built. The two will have to team up, at least temporarily, to stop this serial killer from spreading more terror. In the trailer shown at D23, there's a scene where Matt Murdock confronts Fisk at a restaurant. The Kingpin asks if Matt's threats are coming from him or his darker side. This suggests that the series will explore Daredevil's moral limits and whether he'll be willing to cross certain lines to stop Muse. And this war won't just involve Matt and Fisk. The Punisher, played by Jon Bernthal, is also confirmed for the series. Muse admires the Punisher in the comics, seeing him as a true example of the art he wants to spread. This could put Frank Castle in a tricky spot, as he might become one of Muse's inspirations for committing even more atrocities. Another confirmed character in the series is White Tiger, a vigilante who could end up being one of Muse's targets. If the series follows the comics, Fisk might use his position as mayor to create a task force against vigilantes, and at the same time, Muse could be using this war as fuel for his grotesque works of art. What's clear is that Daredevil Born Again is shaping up to be one of the darkest and most brutal titles in the MCU so far. Muse isn't just another villain, he's a living nightmare that even Fisk can't control. Now all we can do is wait and see how this story unfolds and what the consequences of this clash will be. Do you think Muse could be the scariest villain Daredevil's ever faced? Do you think this partnership between Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk will last? Or is it gonna end in betrayal? Leave your comment down below. I want to know what you think. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell, because we've got updates every day on the nerd world. See you later, alligator.